Hello, Carl here with Sustainability Theory News. We're over at Nifty Homestead's website, which is insteading.com, and they have a great article on how to make tinctures. Now, if you are interested in using plants, herbs, mushrooms for medicinal purposes, of course, I'm not a doctor and I can't give you any medical advice, but tinctures are considered to be a great way to deliver those beneficial compounds from plants. Tinctures mostly are alcohol extracts, so you put the herbs into alcohol and it extracts some of the good compounds. Now I'll show you a chart that and talk about double extractions in a minute, but this article focuses on alcohol extractions. The alcohol helps preserve the medicine for longer. Now it needs to be at least 80 proof or higher. That's 40% alcohol by volume or higher. So some grain alcohols like an Everclear can really be great for because it's a very high proof, but you can use 80 proof vodka for a lot of things as well. They talk about commonly used herbs and plants, lion's mane, which is actually a mushroom, and it does contain properties, according to some studies, that are neurotrophic, which can help regrow nerve tissue. Really a very beneficial mushroom. Echinacea, all sorts of different plants and mushrooms that you can use. They talk about 190 proof alcohols used to dissolve resins and gums. 90 proof is best for making tinctures that use dried herbs, not fresh herbs. And use a half and half, 80 proof and 190 proof for getting the volatile aromatics. So it depends what you're trying to go for. It's very important to chop, grind, or crush the herbs, because really sometimes some of the compounds just are not even activated until they're chopped and crushed together. I remember hearing about this old recipe where they took onions, garlic, and Madeira wine and crushed the onions and garlic together, mixed it with the Madeira wine, and made a tincture that was shown to be pretty effective against the common cold. Now the preparation is very simple. You take your herbs or mushrooms, you crush them up, you put them in the alcohol, you let them sit for 6 to 8 weeks in a nice cool dry place in a sealed jar. And then when it's done, you use some cheesecloth or a stainless steel strainer to get rid of the herbs and then keep the alcohol. Now, I will link to this article in the description, but let's talk about double extractions. And also, I'm going to link to this. The American College of Healthcare Sciences has a video on safety dosage guidelines for herbal medicines. But here we are at fungi.com. It's the website for Paul Stamets, who is the preeminent expert on mushrooms in the world, I would say. Now, he has a great chart here on all the different compounds that are in mushrooms for medicinal purposes, polysaccharides, proteins, and whatnot. And a nice little indication of how these different compounds are captured. And in the middle, methanol, ethanol, toluene, oils, water, these are the substances and how well they absorb different things. Like proteins here, they do really well in water. They can dissolve really well in water, but almost not at all in methanol. So you can see water is great for proteins, lipoproteins, polysaccharides. It's not so great for the rest of them. Where on the other side, methanol and ethanol, it's great for these three, the terpenes, sterols, and lipids, but not so great for the other three. So double extractions start with the alcohol typically, because usually you're going to heat it up, because the water. So after it's been sitting in alcohol for 6 to 8 weeks, you take out the herbs or the mushrooms, then you put it, I like to use a slow cooker on low, you put it on some low heat for 5-6 hours, and the hot water will extract pretty much all the compounds that the alcohol didn't extract. So you get all the little bits and goodness. Now the heat would kill and destroy some of the other things, but luckily you got a lot of the good beneficial compounds out with the alcohol. Alright, so then when it's done with the water, you let it cool down to room temperature, and you combine it at a 50-50 ratio for alcohol and water, and that's a double extraction. Make sure you store it in a dark place. They talk about using dark colored glass dropper bottles. And when I do mushroom extracts, I usually like to use Chaga, which is an amazing mushroom with great properties for antioxidants. Hen of the Woods, or maitake, is very great. And lion's mane, my 3 favorite mushrooms. Of course, if you have any ideas for great tinctures, leave them in the comments below. If you'd like to see more news headlines like this, please subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.